Hi, welcome along to Barbecue Life, the only YouTube channel dedicated to the Aldi Kamado, and today I am doing my first warranty claim. So welcome along, my name's Tom, and as I said, today we're doing my first and only warranty claim on the Aldi Kamado. So today we're doing a felt change. So it's a very small warranty claim, but they still back you up. I mean, I've had mine nearly 3 years now, and contacted them. I don't have a receipt as I picked mine up second hand, so I just contacted La Hasidenka, I think is how you pronounce it, who make the Aldi Garden Line Kamados. Just googled them, found their website, sent them a note saying I've got a 2019 model, my felt is heavily damaged and could I do a warranty claim, I haven't got a receipt. And they said, yeah, no worries, sent it out in the post and I had it within 2 days. So it sat in the shack for a little while until I can actually get around to doing the claim. So I want to show you the state of my felt to begin with. So as you can see, the Kamado's been heavily used and there are several pieces where the felt is no more or is a bit tatty. So that's around the bottom of the ceramic bowl and then around the actual top lid as well. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get our fire bowl out of the way, because if you've got your fire bowl in there and then your charcoal, there is a lot of fibres that end up flying about while we're doing this felt change. So we want to get that out of the way and well out of the way at the area from what we're doing. Just remember that if you are taking it out, 1, it is heavy, 2, it is awkward, and 3, make sure you put it down somewhere dry. Don't put it down somewhere damp, because the moisture is just going to soak in there and then you'll crack it when you start it back up. So you want to be doing this on a dry day, really. So the easiest way to get this out is, you can see we've got these little air holes around the outside. If you take 2 fingers and poke them in opposite corners, and then you can just lift straight up and out. If you try and hold it just by the very top of the bowl, you can't really get your fingers in, so you're just on your fingertips and you've got a much higher chance of dropping it, and you don't want to be doing that. So we've taken it out. I've just got to clear out my ash from the bottom. As you can see, where them air holes were around the outside, you do get a build up of ash there. And I did do a video last year on there saying that you do need to take the firebolt out regularly, and about every 6 to 8 cooks is when I do mine, and just make sure that you've got all of the ash out of the way there, because if you fill them holes up, you are going to be hindering your airflow inside the Kamado. So we've got all our ash out of the way, and now it is time to start getting the old felt off. So I've got an old trusty wallpaper scraper, a bit damaged, but you just need something sharp that you can get underneath it. If you don't have a visible hole in yours, you can always start at the join where you put your original tape on, or just take a knife and just cut through until you can get to the ceramic, and then you can get underneath it. It's surprisingly easy to take the top layer of felt off. So you just want to scrape along, scraping into the Kamado as much as possible, because you have a layer of felt, a layer of fuzz, and then a layer of tape. So there's 3 bits that we need to try and get off of here. So we just want to take that top layer of felt all the way off, and then we're going in with a trusty wire brush. So this is ideal for cleaning things up. So we just want to be going along, and this is going to take your fuzz off, and then you've just really got to work it at all different angles, and it will start to take the tape off as well. You just want to work your way around, take your time. This isn't a quick process. I've been out here for well over an hour changing mine, and majority of the time is making sure that you've cleaned the Kamado up, got everything off in order to put the new tape on, because if you don't get it completely clean, the new tapes are not going to stick so well. So we've gone all the way around with our wire brush. If you do want to, if you've got any really stubborn parts and you've got sort of a mouse sander, then you can get in there with a mouse sander. I had a little piece at the back and it didn't matter what I did with a wire brush, it wasn't going to come away. Just gone on with a very low grit sandpaper on the mouse sander and just work your way at that gently. You don't want anything high grit, because then you're going to be starting to rip into your ceramic and putting too much vibration through it, which isn't ideal. So we've got that bottom half completely cleaned up. Now we just need to work on the lid. So again, just going in with a scraper, scraping away. It peels off quite easily, this top layer as well. Then just peel it all away and then go in with the wire brush again, exactly the same as we did on the bottom. And again, if you've got any stubborn parts on the top, you can go in with a sander. I only sanded the back of the bottom part of mine where I had a really stubborn bit that I couldn't get the angle on to get out. So we've cleaned everything up. You can see how clean it is. We're almost back to the bare ceramic. There are little pieces of tape here and there, but I've deemed this good enough that I'm willing to start sticking the new tape on. So the tape comes and it's sticky backed. Let's grab a bit. Sticky backed, nice thick felt. If you've got a relatively new one, then you can remember how thick this is. Where mine's a few years old, I'd forgotten just how thick it was when you put it on brand new. So you just want to get the backing off here. Now, a lot of people complain that getting the backing off isn't easy, but you'll see that when these are done in the manufacturing process, when they cut them, you do get little pieces of backing tape break away. So if you just get a sharp knife and just work away at these little pieces that have broken away, lift that, and then you can get in with your fingers and start to peel it away. So that's how I've got the backing off of mine. Now we want to start putting this on. So I always like to start at the back of the Kamado so that you don't have any joins in your visible edges. It's sort of hidden by the hinge at the very back. So we just want to be peeling a little piece of the backing off, an inch, maybe 2 inches at a time, and just tracing our fingers around, following the inside rim of your fire bowl. Don't follow the outside rim, because then you've got much more chance of moisture getting into that felt, and then you're going to end up with mould. So I like to have mine sitting a little bit further in. So just run it around the inside of that bowl just a little bit at a time. So we're just pulling an inch back, sticking it on. If it doesn't go quite where I want it, you can lift it off and then move around a bit more. And then once you've got it all the way around, push down all of the way to really make sure you've got a good amount of adhesion to the Kamado. And then we just need to trim it. So I've had sort of this much, so just over a head long extra. So what I found it's best to do is you run it round to the point where you began, and then just cut it off, and you'll see that you end up with maybe 5 to 7 mil extra. Now you don't want to leave that in place, because you're going to end up with a higher bit where it overlaps, and that will allow air to escape out of there, and you won't be able to regulate your temperatures properly. So, but once you've got that in place, you can then run the knife down at a slight angle right next to the original piece where we started, and just run it down until you hit the ceramic, and then you'll be able to peel it off and just trim any extra pieces of felt that you need to. We do exactly the same with the top of the lid. Start off little inch at a time of that backing paper, running it all the way around, and then we're just going to trim it off in exactly the same way. Fold it back on itself and cut through, and then line it up dead and cut through with the knife so that it joins up nicely. You don't want a gap where the felt joins, because again this is going to let air in and out, and it will make it harder to regulate your temperatures. So we've got that all on. We push everything on as much as we can. You just want to make sure, run your finger around the outside, make sure there's nothing sticking out too much, because now is the only time that you're going to have to adjust it. And it's as simple as that. What you now want to do is shut down your lid and just keep the weight on there for a little while. I'm going to keep it shut for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to light a little fire in there this afternoon. Not because we've got to re-cure the Kamado or anything, but if we do have anything sticking over, I just want to make sure that we're burning any glue off. I don't want to taint any food with the new felt smell as it's starting to singe on that inside, or any of the glue that may be visible around the inside of that bowl. So just start off with a slow fire and take it up to something nice and hot, just to really make sure that we've got no impurities in there for the next time I cook. So it's not a hard thing to do. It is a bit fiddly to begin with, making sure we get ourselves back to the bare ceramic. If you wanted to, with your extra bit that you've got left, you could reline the very top where the chimney goes. I'm happy enough that my chimney is tight enough on there, so I'm not going to bother. I've got this spare for if I ever need to do that in the future. So if you like what we're doing here at Barbecue Life, then please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you like the video and leave me a comment. This is so important to the YouTube algorithm. It shows interaction between yourselves and myself, and that makes YouTube show the video to more people. out in the wider world, people that aren't subscribed and haven't seen my content yet. So thank you very much for watching.